Welcome to another edition of the eSpot with Camille. The eSpot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining.
A union leader for Sag-Aftra for over 20 years. He's been a member since 1978. He's also a member of Actors Equity Association. He has lived in New York, he's lived in LA. You've seen him on the big screen. But he lives in Wilmington, and it's proud to call it his home for over 20 years. 20 years. Wilmington.
Oh my goodness. Now if I could only find my notes. Oh, there we go. Allie and I talked last night about how, as actors with American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, they gave in to all of our demands, they'd still be billionaires. We're not only asking for a little bit of dignity, respect, and payment for what it's worth. Honestly, and in front of the cameras. And the people who are putting those words on pages. There's no film. You know? If it's that easy to replace someone with AI, why don't they replace the producers? They have no talent to begin with. How hard can it be? I'm just saying. County Commissioner Rob Zappel has made a positive contribution in New Hanover County for more than 22 years. He is a licensed general contractor, owner of Rob Zappel Design. He is also a proud union member. He's in our union. Rob and I first worked together in Nashville Children's Theater in 1974. Yeah. We're old. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. You old. Yeah, we own it. Yeah.
It's a privilege.
It is a privilege, though it is rife with indignities. But let's go back to Rob. He is an advocate for the public process. He is active with several nonprofit organizations that serve Wilmington and New Hanover County in his efforts to help this community.
Good afternoon. My name is Rob Zappel. I have the honor and the privilege of serving you as one of your New Hanover County Commissioners. And I am delighted to be out here today to support my second union. Things have certainly changed and are different. SAG has been a huge part of mine and my entire family's life for over 44 years. And now I don't work as much, in the Screen Actors Guild, but I never forget those first years when I was there. That's the power of the union. I also have the unique position. You get those checks still. Exactly. Thank you, Herb. I have the unique position also of serving you as one of your county commissioners, so I see the economic input that comes in our entire region. And to see that impact over the years continue to grow. In 2021, in the state of North Carolina, we did $461 million, all directly related to film and television. Wow. And a majority of that was happening right here at Screen Gems, and now the beauty of having another studio, Yahoo, Dark Horse. If there's anybody here from there, thank you. You understand it, you're planning for when this is all over. And the Teamsters. Why do people come here from Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Dallas, all over the world to film? Yes, we've got those studios, and I don't want to put that, but it's the people. It's the 2,000 plus people who are right here in New Hanover County that are ready, willing, and able to work. And we're the people who are getting hurt the most. Every day we go along that we're not able to work because of the strike, it's money flowing out the other direction. It's not happening. We need this strike to get over. And for scale, doesn't sound like much. Remember that story I just told about having 3 months of mortgage payments in my hand? That's what scale means. And that's what 90% of the performers that are out there work for. And the writers, too. We need to have a recognition that inflation has happened, producers. We need those numbers, to come up. So the minimum wages and scale need to address the reality of inflation. Woo, come on, guys. Come into the 21st century here. Streaming is a reality and is the future for all of our futures. We need to have it recognized and compensated for on all levels of performance, writers, etc. And is the recognition of AI, artificial intelligence. And I think out of all those, that is possibly the biggest future issue. I won't call it a threat, because like anything new and technology-wise, it can be used and used wisely.
That's right.
But the way it is now, with no discussion going on from the producers, we see all the threatening sides of it. We got to get over that. We need to have open discussions about that and find a path so that real live people can be compensated for their work and possibly enhanced by AI, but you cannot cut us out. Yeah. Blood of this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm also the first veteran, for those of you who might be out there. I am dressed like this. I'm coming from a service for our youth leader, but it would be remiss if I did not come here and show my support for everyone in solidarity. The NAACP, to include the National and the North Carolina, always stands in support of unions. Deborah Dix Maxwell, who was raised by a father, a member of ILA 1426, which is now on South 5th Street, which meant he was a member of the AFL-CIO. That's what put clothes on my back, food on the table, my entire life in this non-union state, and that's part of the problem, and we'll deal with that later. So I have to be here in solidarity in whatever I can do. We were blessed to be in Boston last week, and Alfred Woodard spoke out in support of the strike. I forgot the other guy's name. So we are here, we are supportive, and we implore you to stand your ground. I remember my daddy saying, well, we got to shop because the strike about to come, because you know in advance when they don't sign the thing. And he would stock up like he didn't stock up our house anyway, like we were going to a world war. And so I understand, I'm in solidarity with you, and whatever we can do as the new Hanover NAACP, the president's not here because I forgot to tell him I was coming. He probably went graveside, I drove straight here. We are here in solidarity to support you in whatever way we can. And this young man over here in that red shirt with Communications Workers of America will tell you, if you call us, we will come out, because we stood with them yesterday. So therefore, I'm proud to stand here this afternoon with Sag-Aftra. Stay strong, be strong.
Hi, everybody. First of all, I am 14, actually. I would have a big shout out to Allie and Ron. I wouldn't be here standing today if they didn't film all my auditions and coach me, and I'm so thankful for all of you guys. Thank you guys for having me here today, and thank you all for coming, even though it has to be probably the hottest day in summer today, and of course it just lined up that way. But my mom had an audition for a commercial, and they asked for like a 3-year-old that she could bring to put on her hip. And my mom has 5 kids. She was like, okay, I got plenty of those. So she brought me, and I ended up booking the role, and she didn't. So that's how that worked. But I've been blessed with many opportunities, and I've got to work on different platforms before, or productions before, I walked with zombies, I've swum in some swamps, and like you were saying, I had this friend Margaret. We talked about God, we talked about boys, we talked about our boobs a lot, and we did this weird exercise where we were like this over and over again. But I've been so blessed with these opportunities, and I would want robots to take over the world someday. And now it's not just a nightmare, it's becoming a reality. And it's scary for me to think about that my work that I put my time and energy into, what I want to do for the rest of my life, can be replaced by AI or technology. yeah, I mean, it really scares me. And also, if they're using our faces, don't you think that we deserve to get paid for that? So I'm here today to stand with Sag-Aftra.
A young Tom Holland, maybe. And you will certainly be seeing him for so many years to come. I know it. Please welcome to the stage, Banks Rapetta.
Thank you so much, Allie. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's pretty great. So with the strike, I've been spending a little bit of my time in Ireland, and while my family and I were there in Dublin, we ended up walking into a bar, and
What a surprise.
so while we were there, we walked in, we noticed something was off. Like, everybody was really quiet, they were really focused on the TV, and we didn't know that we walked into a very, very important Gaelic football game, and we had no idea how the rules went or how anything went. It seemed like a mix of like soccer and rugby combined. But while we were there, we just sat and we watched everything happen. And basically in the end, the Gaelic football team won. Everybody was cheering and super happy. And because of how happy they were, we were like cheering too. We had no idea what was going on, but there was so much energy, like so much positive energy that we were like, we just felt like we get what we want, everybody else will be happy for us. So with that, I'm going to say we should all be unified and together.
You've seen me here before. This is my natural habitat. Arrondissement just within the Latin in the South. And we are legal. And the folks spreading the rumors that there are no unions in the South don't want us here for a reason. Fair contracts build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, and not the top down, because we know that does not work. To ensure that workers get paid fairly and families earn wages that not only stretch from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, but that allow them to thrive.
Thank you. Tireless except for right now. Boy, you exhausted me in that tent out there. I feel like I've met all of you to get here today. Okay? More than 2 hours. Want to hear it? More than 3 hours. More than 4 hours. Holy moly. I'm not going to go any higher than that because I think we get the idea. You are a committed bunch. You know, when I started working here in Wilmington, that was our trip to audition, 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours to get here, 5 minutes in the room, 4.5 hours back, get the call, you have a call back, come back 2 days later and do it all over again. And we did it because we love it. This is the thing we love, right? We go through anything, we had to do it. We'll do 17 pages with a 24 to 48 hour turnaround for a self-tape, won't we? No. Because we do it, because we love it. But you know, the problem with loving things is it makes you exploitable. We will do anything because we love it, and the moment an employer knows that, they will let us do anything so that they can extract the value from our work as much as possible.
Amen. That part.
And the only thing that stands in the way of that is a union, is what we belong to. My dad was a pilot. He loved flying, and they beat it out of him. They had short turnarounds for him. They flew him till he was bone dry, whatever that means. I'm hot, forgive me. And, is that a word? Okay, thanks. Didn't have us doing crap minimum wage jobs while the robots are the ones that made the art and the movies. That is what we're up against. Every time we step foot in front of a camera that can capture our performances in sufficient detail, we are training an AI, which must be trained to reproduce human behavior. So when we step in front of a camera without protections that guarantee us ownership over our image, compensation for its use, we are merely, every time we step in front of that camera, training the machines to replace us. We are engaged in replacing our team so that it reflects viewership and better compensates us. Just makes sense. So thank you for being here today, because it just makes sense. Power to people.
Hey, everybody! Everybody, let's say Sag-Aftra strong! Sag-Aftra strong! Union strong! Union strong! Yeah! Yes. Thank you. Woo! In the press, they want to make this about Hollywood people. But we have 160,000 plus members in Sag-Aftra. And only 86% of our members do not make enough to get health care. $26,000. Now, when we're in the room, there are executives who say that they're worth being paid $78,000 a day, but they're bankrupt and they can't pay us a living wage. It's not project in perpetuity forever without paying you. And they said that sounds right. No, it doesn't. When we're talking about streaming, they don't even want to tell us how many subscribers they have because they don't want us to share in the revenues that they're making. When they tell their shareholders they've made billions and they tell us in the room that they're bankrupt, it's not right. You're lying. You will compensate us for what we're worth. We're the ones building your organization. Say it again. Just know, in that room, not one of them was able to keep a straight face when we came out there with the truth. We want to make a living wage. We want to be compensated. We want to be valued. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. And this is no time for you not to see us. This is a hashtag hot labor summer. All of our allies and our brothers and sisters are fighting for a living wage. And we deserve it.
Yeah.
So when we're at the table and they're criticizing us that we walked in with our strong shirts and they said, "Oh, is this a t-shirt giveaway day?" That's what the negotiator said as we started the negotiation. That kind of an attitude. We're like, you're not here. We're here to negotiate for a fair deal. We want our members to work, but you're obviously not at this table to give us a fair deal. So we're going to go on strike. And guess what they said? You all are uncivilized for going on strike. They told us straight to our faces.
Wow.
Okay, you call us uncivilized. We're going to give you some civilization. We're going to show you what time it is. The time is up for playing games. These executives and these studios, they need to come to the table and give us a fair deal so that we can get back to work and put food on our table and pay our rents and our mortgages and make a living.
Thank you, Allie. I get to follow Tawanda, so I thought, wow, after all these people have said all these things that I thought about saying, what am I going to say? But there is an opening here. When I was working, I started working in 2010. I was really lucky to come back after a bout of cancer, after trying to be, well, every job in the restaurant business. I'm sure there are a lot of people who worked in the restaurant business, so raise your hands. I tried real estate. I got a teaching certificate and a master's to teach. I got certified in HR, and then I got cancer. And I was like, it was a good prognosis, you know? But I said, life is too short for me not to do what I love.
Yes.
And he was right. They take advantage of us because they know how much we love this.
Yes.
Right? You don't want to do anything else, but you do. You got your side hustles. I mean, how many people have, you know, temped? I was the worst temp. At one point, they asked me to do finance, and I was like, okay. That lasted a day. Anyway, 73 years ago in Los Angeles, a group of actors and writers got together and were like, okay, let's just sit home and watch TV all day. So, whereas one of my first gigs was on a show about dead people who eat people who are alive, I was able to stick around for a while. And because of the residuals that I got, it being a cable show, I could put myself up and drive to New Orleans and do a one-liner, one day, 5 and under, anything to build that resume, to get more credits, to keep moving forward. And then work dries up, and you don't have any money, but those residuals would come in. Then pandemic hits us, we have no work. Streaming becomes 10 times bigger because everybody's like, hey, we're gonna get on that bandwagon because they don't pay any residuals. And they say, you know, sorry, we're really tight right now. We can't really afford to pay you, you know, what, you're gonna be a guest star on this show about money laundering and rednecks and drug lords, but we can't pay you for a guest star because we're broke. And so at that point, which was April 22, I have still not been paid a single residual for 5 episodes on a very big series on streaming.
Sickening.
No pay, nada. It'll be 30% at some point, but that's it. So did I qualify for health insurance this year? Heck no. And will I qualify next year? Probably not. So this is the time for us to stand strong. Even though it is getting tighter and tighter, this is the time for us to say, you made $26 million last year? That was your salary? We need 2%.
Amen.
We need to go back to tell your shareholders, hey, we fixed it. We went up on our rates. Remember that you've screwed us. You've absolutely screwed us. And you can do AI, but you can't make movies without actors and writers. And you can't make them without IATSE, and you can't make them without Teamsters, and you can't make them without the other unions that are involved in our industry. So we have to stay strong, and just remember, you're only fighting for 2%. That's all we need.
Thank you guys so much. One of our colleagues was just talking about residuals and what residuals are and what they used to be, and I was reminded by the fact that one residual check for one film that I did years ago, 2005 around, one residual check paid for my entire student loan, the student loan that got me through film school at North Carolina School of the Arts. I mean, it was a big day. I was pretty blown away, but I took that residual check. I had no idea it was coming and no idea what the amount it was going to be. It had more zeros than I'd ever seen. And I took that check and I paid off my work-study student loan that I got through college on. So that's what residuals used to be. And I was reminded of that by our colleague. And the fact that now these checks come in 13 cents, 58 cents, and everything else. Streamers cry poverty while they borrow hundreds of millions of dollars from Wall Street and say they can't pay us, which is all BS. Thank you so much, and thank you all for coming, and everybody else. But here's the truth. 86% of Sag-Aftra's 160,000 members earn less, like we've talked about, than $26,500 a year. That's 86% of our membership. That's 137,600 actors who make the most valuable media property in the world and earn less than the 2023 federal poverty line for a family of 4. I don't envy you having to sit across from these people telling you they don't have the money. The studios want people to think this strike is all about disgruntled, highly paid celebrities. It is not. It's about us. It's about us trying to pay our mortgages, trying to pay our rents, trying to string together minimum wage part-time jobs just to do what we love. I think people assume choosing acting as a profession, it means you spend your life acting. It does not. Choosing acting as a profession means you spend your life auditioning. You wait weeks or months for one audition, knowing you might need to do 20, 50, 100 just to get one job. And that goes for me, It goes for you and a lot of people who don't want to talk about rejection, whose names we all know. Every one of us gets rejected every single day doing this job. And that's just the truth. On social media, everybody is desperate to advertise success. But this is the reality of the actor. But still, auditions have changed. Where once we recorded scenes in a casting office, now it's up to us to essentially build an entire office. The requirement of self-tapes took an audition process once free and communal and turned it lonely and expensive. Now, if you're lucky, you have a studio in town like Actors Arsenal. And we're lucky to have that studio. But the point is, the same industry fighting to give us less money if we do book a job now requires us to pay hundreds of dollars to even try. What kind of sense does this make?
None.
And the list goes on. Eroding residuals, AI divisions ready to scan and replace us. And you're right, we're teaching them every time we're on screen. Health and pension contributions that haven't changed in 40 years. Being an actor is precarious enough, but the studios love what we do. But greed is not good business, and if the studios don't know that, then we will strike until they learn. Stay strong, stay unified, and help each other out. Thank you so much.